and welcome to Geek Church. This is a non-episode. This is a bonus episode. And we are here, we're all gathered together in honor of one man, to honor him, no, not so much.
To ridicule
to
him.
make fun of him. And normally that's mean, right? Like you don't make a video and make fun of someone, but every now and then people are just really dumb and they ask for it. It's like they put up a sign that says, "Please make fun of me," and this guy literally has put up sign, not to make fun of me, but so we're going to be talking about a special individual. And go ahead, Jeff, say who he is, and then I'm going to say what we're doing.
All right. His name is Harold Camping, and apparently he's got like 2,000 billboards across the nation saying that.
He should have donated that money to us to get 2,000 Geek Church billboards across the nation.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know what we put on them though.
Our web address and other coolness.
geekchurch.net.
And then like other cool stuff, man, advertising. Okay, go ahead.
But 2000 saying May 21st at 6 p.m. 2011, which is for us tomorrow. For you guys, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
And basically, like, the rapture is going to happen, and it'll usher in the end of the world. And
was he actually saying rapture? Because his signs say the end of the world or something like that.
They're calling it Judgment Day simply because it's like their last chance to get saved.
But the problem is people who aren't Christians are just saying it's the end of the world because we have the whole Mayan 2012. And so they don't understand the difference. So the
movie.
Yeah, I never saw it. So the media and everyone is picking it up as he's saying it's the end of the world, but really he's saying it's the rapture, which the world would still then go on for thousands of years. If you're confused with what I'm saying, just go study Revelation. Because the rapture and the end of the world are two completely separate things. The rapture kind of, if you want to say, could kick off the end of the world, but we're not here to discuss this. We're not here to talk. We're not about how it's wrong or why he's wrong or if he's right. We're simply here to make fun of him, and not just a little. We're going to be done soon. We're almost done making fun of him, but not going to be the whole video. We thought it'd be fun to kind of poke fun at it a little bit, to produce this video, release it the day after. So the whole idea is like...
try to coordinate so it's like 6 p.m. the day after.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And
6
so
in the morning
the whole idea is this is after. Obviously, it's going to be like, oh, we're still here. It didn't happen, whatever. But what we're going to do in this video is just kind of quickly go through we have a list of our top 5 end of the world movie scenarios. If you want to know our scientific method for picking these up, we sat down 4 minutes ago and we just picked out 5 of our favorite and then ranked them in order of coolestness. And coolness. Coolness. I'm known for adding syllables. And then 1 and 2. So we just put them in order our countdown. So I guess here we go.
And here we.
Our number 5 is natural disaster. So now you can make fun of that movie, 2012.
Yeah, tornadoes and crap in LA and what else?
I never saw
it. The world like breaks off. I mean, it's a terrible, terrible movie. But then there's other stuff that are like network specials, like Volcano, where like the tar pits turn into a volcano.
Yeah, well, no, that one we talked about that as a kid. That was a good movie.
It was
but we were. I was junior high, and you would have been like elementary school. So that it was cool when I was. I don't even think I was junior high. I would have been like 11 or something.
Yeah,
I
was like I think 8 or 9.
Yeah, so. I worked at Hollywood Video for a while, and like I'm not joking. Every time we got new movies in, there was another natural disaster, and it was just ridiculous. There's a ton of them. Now, I personally
earthquake, and especially with the number of natural disasters that are happening recently, you think it would increase, but it hasn't yet.
Well, it's because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't publicized because they're just direct to DVD. But I'm telling you, you go in a video store, which is getting increasingly harder to find. You go into a video store.
Video's gone, and Blockbuster
is downsized.
Filed for bankruptcy.
And they auction themselves.
But they're still here.
And they auction themselves.
Oh, did you hear about Barnes & Noble?
That they lost over $1 billion in sales to e-books, but that we
can
talk about that off camera.
That's something for later.
So I guess yes, I have. Personally, like this one's only on the list to round it out. Like we don't think this one's cool. It's kind of dumb, as you can tell.
It is kind of cool.
But the movies aren't normally. But
have you seen what's the one where the kid builds a bomb and then steals plutonium from his dad, who's like a physicist?
I have no clue.
No? It was really good.
Iron Giant?
Where's the giant?
Just kidding.
And then there's another one, I think it's called Thermonuclear War, where he tricks this computer that controls all the nation's nukes into that's playing like a game called Thermonuclear
That one I
War.
think I've seen.
That was so amazing.
That was like an
he
80s
tricks it at
movie,
the
right?
end and gets it into makes it so it's playing tic-tac-toe, and since there's no way to win, it like goes until it burns itself out.
It hasn't learned. Is there any way to make it play itself?
Yes, number of players 0.
Come on. Learn, goddammit.
Must be caught in the loop, storing more and more power from the rest of the system.
9 numbers. 10, it's got the code, it's going to launch.
Get me a launch status report.
Was that like an 80s movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, so number 4 is Nuclear, which we just kind of segued into.
That was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was almost like we planned that. I forgot that was even the next one. Wow. So Nuclear, and I gotta say, there's not a lot of these really made anymore because people aren't that worried about nuclear disaster anymore. But growing up, there were some awesome ones. I would say, this is just guessing, but from probably around the 60s to the 80s, there were a lot. I remember being in high school, and I don't remember what class it was, but we watched this like 60s kind of nuclear war thing, and I remember it was the coolest idea, even though the movie was long and boring. It was like this like underground facility. It was like a mile down, and there was like they had to get down there, and it may or may not have been leaking, and it was like this 60s suspense nuclear film. And there's been a lot of really good nuclear natural disaster, like not natural, but like, or even a post-apocalyptic, where the world starts off in like a voiceover of this is how the war broke out, and then the rest of the movie is like after World War III or after the nuclear holocaust.
Or I have to say one of the best. It has nothing really to do with nuclear war, but Equilibrium, starring Christian Bale.
In the first years of the 21st century, a third world war broke out. Those of us who survived knew mankind could never survive. A fourth, that our own volatile natures could simply no longer be risked. So we have created a new arm of the law. The Grammaton Cleric, whose sole task it is to seek out and eradicate the true source of man's inhumanity to man. His ability to feel.
That's like the totalitarian future.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like...
It has Alec Baldwin in it at the beginning also. But yeah, that was a good book. Or it's a good movie based sort of off Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, I can't really think of any nuclear names necessarily because we want to cut in some of the ones we meant, so some clips from each of them.
Google save us.
Yeah. Number 3 though is Alien Invasions. The world ending. I guess it wouldn't technically end, but pretty for the most part. Yeah. World's ending by alien invasions, and I will say my least favorite version. Since we're this is kind of a negative video, I'll say my least favorite version is the Tom Cruise adaptation of War of the Worlds. And actually, he didn't do it. Obviously, it's Steven Spielberg. And the reason I didn't like it's a good movie. And I just saw like half of it the other day. It was on TV or something. It is a good movie. I just don't like it. I'm not saying it's bad because, in my opinion, I like my favorite part of Into the World movies is their perspectives. There's like the family trying to like survive. There's the military scene, like in like the Pentagon or whatever, or the White House or whatever it is. There's like the troops on the ground that are like Transformers. You know, like there's all these perspectives. That's the great thing. And even War of the Worlds was that way. And Mars Attack was I'm talking about like the actual H.G. Wells one. It was, and like Mars Attack's a great example of that. Transformers is, even though it's not really Into the World, of all the different perspectives, this was just the family story.
Yeah, it was very centered. And
just him and his family.
They were focusing on the star power, Dakota Fanning and Tom Cruise. And I have to say, like, I was totally excited for the movie because I love War of the Worlds and H.G. Wells.
Oh, the radio version?
Yeah,
I have, honestly, I've listened to that so many times.
The weekend before I went to see it, it was like a week after it came out, because I never go to premieres. It was about a week after it came out. Every night, I would listen to the original radio broadcast.
See, that killed it for you, because that's so good.
Yeah, starring Orson Welles, and it was so good.
Yeah, the thing was so amazing that they repeatedly...
The movie was not as good at all.
Yeah, because it was a CBS radio broadcast back before, and Orson Welles, and they all switched over to TV, because even it was RKO, I believe, was who produced it, and back when they did amazing dramas and stuff. So
people were writing them and putting in phone calls, thinking there was an actual.
No, yeah, people were calling the police department and the fire departments, and they even, because like I said, it was a ABC or ABC, CBS. There you go, CBS production, and after every commercial break, like when they come back from commercial break, before they would start it again, they would say, just to remind everyone, this is not real, this is a dramatization, this is a story, and blah, blah, blah. And they still had people calling the station, calling the police, calling the fire departments, freaking out because we're being invaded by aliens.
Nowadays, if the same thing happened, you'd have lawsuits. But people were smart back then.
This thing was so good it tricked them.
Well,
and it just is amazing. And even the movie, the 60s or so, because I grew up, my dad watched a lot of like Turner Classic Movies and all those kind of things. And so I had seen that one several times, and that one was really good too. And so is the...
There's nothing better than a black and white alien invasion.
Well, this one was color, but it was Technicolor, so it's...
Yeah, it's the same
It's like black and white with color in it, you know? It's like comic books from like the 60s. They're color, but it's like black and white with color.
It looks like they have the measles.
I know it makes no sense. Black and white with color would just be color, but if you watch, you know what I'm talking about, the Technicolor where... You know, that kind of stuff.
Artificial color.
Speaking of those kind of movies, another really good alien invasion movie is Day the Earth Stood Still.
History has lessons to teach us about first encounters between civilizations. As a rule, the less advanced civilization is exterminated or enslaved. Unfortunately, in this case, the less advanced civilization is us.
There's gonna be a big storm tonight.
Spheres like this one landed at all the locations around the world.
You know, I love you very much. I need to know what's happening.
If the Earth dies, you die. If the human race dies, the Earth survives.
You came to save the Earth from us.
We can't risk the survival of this planet for the sake of one species. There are only a handful of planets capable of supporting complex life. This one can't be allowed to perish.
So what's gonna happen to us?